What is going on, everybody? Jancy, aka You're the Collector here, and this is my weekly reads, reviews, and quick thoughts. I'm a little behind, life got in the way, but no worries. Let me get you caught up on what happened on June 26th. Yeah, Absolute Power Ground Zero, Superman, Action Comics, Harley Quinn, Power Girl, Penguin, and Zatanna bring down the house. Let's get into it. So this was easily book of the week. Zatanna bring down the house by Mariko Tamaki, Javier Rodriguez, Hassan OE in the letters. Just wow. How I missed Javier Rodriguez. I could read anything with his style of art, panel work, coloring, and just world building altogether. Bravo. Tamaki has laid down a great base for this story and a great starting point for this take on Zatanna. Nothing too complicated though, it's just the core family trauma that all writers based Zatanna's main struggle on. That's okay with me, and for the looks of the other reviews that I saw, it's also okay with most of the other readers. Excellent first issue. I am subscribed. I absolutely love Javier Rodriguez's work. He did, along with Dennis Hopeless, one of my favorite Spider-Woman runs. And I guess I was just missing that type of storytelling. 10 out of 10, all the chocolates, all the stars. If you like self-contained stories, it doesn't get much better than this. Highly recommend you check it out. The Penguin number 11 by Tom King, Rafael de la Torre, Marcelo Maiolo, and Clayton Cowles. I truly believe that King's slow burn style never worked as good as it does on this series, except for maybe his Mr. Miracle run, of course. Without spoiling this issue, I'm glad we got to see what happened in that massacre that went down on Penguin's apartment a couple issues ago. There's two things I love here. Number one, the internal monologuing of the Sparkler is back. It's just brilliant. The madness inside his head, I can't even describe that to you. And number two, those panels in black, red, and white when Cobblepot's violence just pours out. And as you can tell, that's something that the Aiden, the Penguin's daughter, inherited from him. One more issue to go. I guess we've already seen how it ends based on the foreshadowing from issue number 1. But I still want to know, how are we going to get there? If you don't know anything about this story, well, this is just a story about the last man who outsmarted the Batman and got away with it. Power Girl number 10 by Leah Williams, Eduardo Panseca, Julio Ferreira, Rómulo Fajardo Jr., and Becca Carey. Crush and Power Girl hitting on each other, intentional or not, was hilarious. I love the writer acknowledging Power Girl's attendance to their Harley Quinn's birthday. That was cool. I did read that book and was wondering why Streaky and Power Girl were there. Well, now I know they're best friends. I was hoping the crew of Sarnians were gonna stay around after the House of Brainiac to maybe appear here and there in the future, but I guess with Lobo calling himself the last son again, these other guys could not stay around, shaking my head emoji. Paige did a little bit of everything here. Mentor crush, beat up some bad guys, show her engineering skills, and even be a host for the Holiday Girls. This series continues to fly under the radar, but I think it's been a fun read so far. And if you didn't know, the tie-ins to the House of Brainiac story, it's probably the strongest arc in this series so far. And I don't think it's really gonna let up after the House of Brainiac. So check it out, give it a chance. Power Girl has been pretty amazing since the dawn of DC. Harley Quinn number 41 by Tini Howard, Sweeney Boo, and Steve Wands. Sweeney Boo is back on art. I don't hate her art. Also, I don't love it. I appreciate how she expresses Harley wacky and unpredictable emotions, and the panel work is okay. It's the shape of the body sometimes and the coloring fading, everything in the background that I don't like so much. I guess I didn't mind during the last arc, the multiverse story, but for this arc, I was really enjoying Busto's style. But enough of that, this issue was funny AF. Harley and her secret message signs were hilarious. Is she going to acknowledge that she has hammer space? Because she has to, right? Although this is the weakest issue in the current arc, it is still pretty good and easy to follow. Feed me more. I'm loving it. Also, I have to mention, this cover by Sweeney Boo is an homage cover to Batman 442, Tim Drake's first cover and first appearance in DC Comics. Pretty cool stuff. Action Comics number 1066 by Joshua Williamson, Rafa Sandoval, Miguel Mendoza, Alejandro Sanchez, and Dave Sharp. What an epic episode for this amazing story. The House of El and the House of Lobo. It's just him versus the House of Brainiac. Every 2-page spread here is worth the real estate it takes. Rafa Sandoval and Miguel Mendoza were absolutely cooking with the art here. The panel work, the fighting scenes, the epic entrance by Luthor, and that punch by Superboy. Top 3 moments for the Superboy since the dawn of DC began. The backup story was nice as well. I liked the chance to learn more about the complicated relationship between Lana and Lex. Really well drawn out and structured. Panel-wise, it looked great too. Superman number 15 by Williamson, Sandoval, Alejandro Sanchez, and Ariana Mayer. Part 6, the conclusion of the House of Brainiac. If you need a recommendation for a Superman story or run, event or crossover, this is the one. Whether you love the Boy in Blue or not, you can appreciate this story. It's hard to believe that Williamson was leaving the crumbs for this story all throughout 2023. And more importantly, that it was gonna pay off this good. I was curious how they were gonna stick to the landing in regards to the Brainiac Queen and her being featured in Absolute Power. But it all worked out by the end, and it all makes sense. Why did I even doubt Williamson, right? Read The House of Brainiac. X-Men Blood Hunt Magic by Ashley Allen, Jesus Hervas, Jen Nitro, and Travis Lanham. I got this for the Momoko cover because I'm a fan of her work. However, after reading this issue, I believe that in this tie-in, I found what I was looking for in a tie-in issue. First, discover new creators, writers, and artists that I have never been exposed to before and become a fan. And second, learn about a character I have never been exposed to and become a fan. Marvel's entire side of X-Men is about to relaunch, and I was looking for a title to jump into, and I have found a character I want to know more about in Illyana Rasputin, aka Magic. This issue was pretty intense. There was a lot of action. I didn't know that Magic was such a badass as she is portrayed in this issue, and art and the storytelling with the panel work and the coloring was just amazing. It's gonna make me subscribe to the X-Men title that she's gonna be a part of. And if tie-ins had a job or a mission, in my opinion, that is it, to bring you in to things that you didn't know prior to, right? And what can I say? Mission accomplished. Absolute Power Ground Zero number 1. This cover is the Jump Team's connecting variant cover. By the end of this event, we'll have 12 covers that connect and tell a story of its own. This issue is an anthology book, so I'll try to review each story as briefly as I can. Stage 1 is by Mark Waid, Nicole Maines, Skylar Patridge, Patricio Del Peche, and Steve Wantz. I can't help but feel bad for Dreamer. There's being coerced to serve in the Suicide Squad in exchange for your life, a reduced sentence, or your freedom. And then there's what Amanda Waller is doing to Dreamer. I'm really rooting for her to find a way out of her debacle. This follows the latest assembly of Waller's Task Force X And in the title, Suicide Squad Dream Team, where Amanda used the task force to stage a coup in the island nation of Gamora. And in this issue, Dreamer had to face the consequences of her actions, even if they were forced actions by Amanda Waller. Stage 2 by Mark Waid, Chip Zdarsky, V. Ken Marion, Patricio Del Peche, and Steve Wantz. Leave it to Chip Zdarsky and Mark Waid to write one hell of a comeback for Failsafe. I was wondering how Failsafe was going to team up with Waller after he refused her help and ultimately got canned by the Bat Family in the Batman title. But Surinor is gone and we have Failsafe back, plus the 6 Amazo androids that never got the chance to go online. Waller resurrected the Time Commander and trapped him into bringing Failsafe back to life. This alone added one hell of a powerhouse as an asset to her arsenal in this war she declared against the heroes. Just wow. Stage 3 is by Williamson, Gleb Melnikov, and Steve Wantz. If you were like me, you were wondering how the Brainiac Queen from the House of Brainiac was the same as the Brainiac Queen for Absolute Power, because in the promos and previews it looked completely different. Well, Stage 3 closes that gap, and how is the key. Brainiac served Waller another powerhouse of an asset in a silver platter. Intentional or not, Waller got herself a Brainiac Queen. Not just an asset, but as a daughter, because she raised her to be the perfect soldier. Amanda proved she'll go to any length to achieve her goal, and this one was pretty despicable. I don't care what anyone says. This issue got me very excited for Absolute Power, but worried at the same time because I know the heroes don't even have a clue of what they're about to face. That is gonna be it for me today. This is easily my top 2 picks for that week: Absolute Power, Ground Zero, and Zatanna Bring Down the House. I want to thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, and remember to read more comics.